I can't imagine a world of F1 where Monaco doesn't exist.
So Fred,
Are you upset
It's
with me?
weird.
It'd be Stroll, not because I don't like him, but
Well, you don't.
because
First double points in Monaco for Williams in 20 years. Hello, and welcome back to Idiots of F1, the only F1 podcast where race strategy comes second to vibes, facts are occasionally checked, and the only thing faster than the Red Bull pit stop is how quickly we derail into chaos. I'm Ollie, your host, your hype man, and the guy who still thinks Nikita Mazepin deserves a Drive to Survive feature. And joining me, as always, are my co-conspirators in this beautiful circus of speed and stupidity, Ev, Digby, and Tay. In usual opening fashion, mostly for those just joining us for the first time who want an exotic entree to what to expect from your three main meals, I've got this week's icebreaker for you each. Digby, imagine every driver is required to do karaoke on the Monaco podium. You'll be happy to know I chose this question for you because of your recent single release. All right, so they're required to do karaoke on the Monaco podium. What's Lando, Charles, and Oscar belting out?
Lando is singing All By Myself, the Eric Carmen version, because he can't do that Celine high note. Oscar is singing like some country rap. You know how like the country rap thing is a big thing, so maybe some Jelly Roll or like MGK and
Teddy
Lonely Road,
Teddy Swims,
all that crap.
Yeah,
and then Charles,
I love MGK.
I don't know, because Charles has got a weird, like, ratty hamster voice, so maybe he's doing the hamster dance thing.
Didn't he release a single? He has his
his shitty piano one,
stuff.
yeah. He just gets up with one of those little piano beep.
Oh my god.
Mate, he plays piano as well as I drive a car. It's okay.
Don't sell yourself short there, buddy.
Yeah, okay.
Oh,
All right. Okay, well, let's leave some of those really anchored comments there. We'll come back. Tay, if the Monaco Grand Prix was replaced with a driver fashion show, so think runway instead of racetrack, who's taking pole position in the style stakes? Because you're the stylish one, mate. I say that and I'm looking at Evan with his baby blue brand new Ferrari hat on, which
HP.
I'm going to add
And he's porn star Mo.
What'd you pay for it, Ev? $120?
I paid for it about
4 installments.
Exactly what I needed to. There you go.
Okay.
Oh god.
Okay. And yeah, belted with sponsor logos. Looks great. Anyways, Tay, back to our fashionista. Who's taking pole position in the style stakes and who's stalling
With
on
the new
the career?
haircut.
Lewis
is first.
Oh.
And then probably
He does co-chair
Yuki.
the Met. Like,
Yuki's
Yeah,
cool.
I know.
And then
Yuki's good.
Yuki and Stroll are stalling.
No, I reckon Max is not having a bar of that. I reckon Max is going, no,
Oh yeah,
I'm not
he's
getting
turning
involved.
up in his
He's got this
tennis
little
gear.
backpack.
He's turning up in his tennis gear.
He's paddleball. It's like, I just want to play paddle. Okay, Ev. Monaco is famous for its yachts, its wealth, and its complete lack of overtaking. If you were hosting an F1 yacht party, which driver would you not invite and why? Remember, this might impact who we get on the show one day.
I tell you what, it'd be Stroll, not because I don't like him, but because I think that he would be there. He'd turn up to my boat. That cost like did you see that clip? And it was something like $50,000 a day to rent a boat for the.
For a small one.
Yeah, for a small one.
So I'd be on the. I'd be like,
a boat,
I'd be like,
to moor the boat.
Lance, buddy, I got like I don't know, a beer or do you want a cocktail? And he'd be like, oh, this is like this boat's the size of the boat that my father takes to get to his boat. Like, there's nothing I could do. Yeah. There's no amount of money I could spend that would impress him. And I wouldn't. What kind of personality could you have?
He'd probably
He'd be so bored. He'd be so bored.
Oh, fucking that poor guy. I genuinely think of being stuck on a boat with you. I reckon he'd walk past you as you're trying to ask him a question and he'll just start throwing money at you, assuming you're like homeless and a peasant. He'd be like, stay away from me.
Like, get away from me. Yeah. Get away from me.
Well, there you go. Back on schedule. Ladies, gents, and idiots all over. It's time to buckle up because today's episode is stacked like a midfield DRS train. First up, we've got Rear View Review, our no-holds-barred breakdown of the Monaco Grand Prix. Spoiler alert, dreams came true, overtakes did not. Then it's Hush, you been paying attention, our unhinged quiz where Digby leads the scoreboard. And look, he's very happy about this because he has not stopped fucking whinging about it all season. He's got 5 points to his name. Tay and Ev hot on his gearbox, both with 4 points. Expect wild guesses, shady tactics, and maybe one actual correct answer. We'll follow that with the grid walk and trash talk, our preview of this weekend's Spanish Grand Prix, who's looking good, who's got pressure, and who's just praying for a clean first corner. And finally, what's Verstappen? Our chaotic topic shootout where each of my esteemed guests get 20 seconds to fire hot takes on F1's latest headlines. So whether you're a seasoned paddock nerd or just here because Netflix made F1 sexy, welcome. You are one of us now. Oh, and of course, make sure you follow or subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. And with that, helmets off and champagne back in the fridge because it's time for Rear View Review. Right, this is a segment where we dust off our crystal balls, pretend we predicted everything, and absolutely pick apart the Grand Prix we've just witnessed. And this week, it is Monaco, the jewel in the crown, the yacht magnet, the race where overtaking is illegal. Somehow, despite 3 days, of which the final event could have been mistaken for a billionaire traffic jam, it actually delivered, or it kind of did. Well, it depends on who you ask, and I'm going to ask these three clowns in a minute. But buckle in, because we're going to dive deep into the chaos, the strategy, the heartbreak, and the hilarity of the 2025 Monaco Grand Prix. And spoiler alert, there will be slander. Gents, as always, we're going to chat through the top 10 and any other notable mentions. Hint, yes, Stroll fans, we will ensure we talk about our pod favourite Lance. But let's start with the elephant in the room. The race, the Sunday, the crown jewel of the track that, well, for the first time I've ever seen, is certainly copping more heat than ever. For those that missed the episode last week or have otherwise been living under a rock, or you just don't know fuck all about F1, if you watch the race, you'll have seen or heard that a mandatory two-stop had been implemented by the FIA. In layman's terms...
It's a mandatory.
I don't know if you're joking or not.
Look at him. No, he's not. He's so proud. Look at him. Very good. Well, fuck Amanda. She ruined it for everyone. So in layman's terms, each team had to pit their cars twice, which is different to the usual 1-4 stop, which is applied across every other race. It was the first time this had been introduced against the intention to enhance excitement, given that in the new era of cars, which are physically much bigger than their predecessors, the track has become, well, pretty fucking boring because no one can actually pass anyone. Gents, I was genuinely really excited about this pre-race.
Me too.
And I've got my own thoughts on it, but before I rip in, on a scale of 1 to 10, how wrong did the FIA get this, and how much egg on the face does the F1 now have? Diggs, let's go to you first, big guy.
So you made a really good point before the start of the race. Like, I didn't see a huge issue with the two-stop. I was like, okay, at least they're trying something. And then when you said, watch everyone pit on lap 1, I was like, oh, I didn't even consider that. Just everyone's just going to pit right at the start. Everyone's just going to do the same thing. That was my first fear. Then we know that it's hard to overtake in Monaco. And you could have argued until this year that, you know, it's hard to overtake because there's not a lot of room. But if you really wanted to, you could. And we just saw this weekend that you could drive 20 kilometers an hour and still not be overtaken. I think there should be a rule in place on a track, on all the tracks. If you can drive down the middle of the road and it's impossible to overtake or get around you, if you're stopped in the middle of the road, it shouldn't be okay. The car's too big or the track's too small. So when you watch where, you know, just when they come out of the tunnel down the hill where George overtook Albon, right? Firstly, why didn't he do that in like lap 5? I'm sitting at the TB going, surely, I didn't know what the penalty was, and I didn't have anyone to kind of ask. I was like, surely, what is it, 30 seconds? Take that 30 seconds and you just go and you'll get it back. You'll easily get it back. And what I did notice is just after that little section, which you can just cut through, there you can't overtake. You couldn't get round Alex even if you wanted to. Yeah. If he's in the middle of the road, like that to me is what really ruined Monaco this year. It was just exposing how bad it is. It's not like relatively hard to pass. You can't pass. Like you can't go around without basically like almost guaranteeing you're going to hit the side. And if that is what your track is, what's the point? Like what is the point? Like George made some many good points. Why don't we just have 2 qualifiers? Why don't you just have a helicopter throw? Yeah, it's basically Scalextrics. It's like you can't race on a track like that. They have to change that. And as glorious as Monaco is, what a waste of time.
I've been thinking about this all week. Mohammed bin Salem.
Yeah.
He instigated the two stop strategy.
Yes.
The FIA instigated it. He wants to be up for re-election for a third time, and why he was brought in was because he can open the door to the Middle East.
Yeah.
And we can get all these races, right?
Yeah.
Everything he has done has damaged the brand outside of the commercial value of bringing in these new races.
Yeah.
Now that those new races have been brought in, because it's such a political position to be the CEO or the director of the FIA.
Yeah.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
Because what a failure that had been for the two-stop strategy.
Yeah.
What like an abject failure.
Yeah.
Because he was hanging his hat on that. Oh, I'll be the man to spice up Monaco. Nobody's talking about it either, which is fascinating.
I mean, there's so many things there to unpack. The point about not being able to overtake, I think there was one overtake the entire race, and it was genuinely a wonderful overtake.
And
so
it caused
I think
a
you
crash.
guys may recall, it was in lap 1. Bortatello got Antonelli,
Which was so good.
I don't think I've ever seen an overtake there ever in all of my time.
Well, there's
of watching.
technically two
Yeah,
overtakes.
that's true. Two overtakes because he got the first clean
Yeah.
overtake, and then Antonelli
True.
came
Yeah,
in.
and then Kimmy got it back.
True.
Yeah.
Except
that's fair. Yeah.
Except Bortoletto, can you count that as an overtake when there was no room for
actually,
road
yeah, maybe-
for Bortoletto?
yeah,
he
actually,
just
no, you
he
couldn't.
flew right
He
into the
could
wall.
have.
He
He
flew
could
right
have
into the
stopped.
wall.
He
I
could
don't-
have. He
actually,
could
it
have
might-
bumped. He could have bumped
Because
it.
it didn't stick. It might not have. It doesn't count as an overtake.
Yeah.
It didn't.
Yeah.
He didn't complete it.
It's like
even though
cricket
it was
if you don't cross the
over two
halfway line.
corners. Yeah.
Still,
Yeah.
what? That's a
Well,
gutsy
look,
move. I thought it was a
it's,
brilliant move. It was
Yeah.
genuinely a great.
It was
overtake.
ballsy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. Gents and Ev, I don't know. I mean, we're not being asked to figure out what to do with this track by any means.
We've
I
told
don't
them
know
enough.
what to do because it's contracted till 2031. Clearly, the race was awful. You had drivers. You had the radio engineers. You had the drivers. You had the commentators literally slagging it off during the race. Like, and look,
Apologies.
at the end of the day, if there are a way to bend the rules, people are going to bend the rules if it means that they're ultimately going to win. So I don't blame the teams for what they did. And for those that missed
not
the
at
race
all.
and are wondering what's happened, so for some context, what we're talking about here is the two-stop was supposed to introduce jeopardy, somewhat like them introducing the new tyres. So again, just for context, my understanding is on the weekend they had the softest compound possible.
Yeah.
And
C6s.
and the medium tyre for this year was actually last year's soft tyre. So that shows you how much they were kind of trying to manufacture an element of jeopardy in this race by introducing two stops at the same time as introducing tyres that are supposed to wear really quickly so that you're forced to actually have to make changes. What happened was, and again, it was very much dependent on the qualifying outcome, because I felt like it was a different race for kind of the leaders of the
top,
race
yeah.
versus, I don't know, the final 16. But everyone that had a teammate that was in a genuinely good position against another competitor just held up the entire track while that bloke was given the chance to race ahead.
But
Like I mean, I don't blame it. Go, Ev, go.
I'm happy to take to be devil's advocate because
I've got to hear this.
that last third of the race, the final quarter, I guess, when Max was in first place
Yep.
and he had to,
He had one more
he
stop.
still had to pit. They brought in rules specifically to punish that. George thought he was only going to get a 10-second penalty, and then but then they saw the new rules were for this race only. No, it's not. If you cut the corner, then it's a drive-through. And George
But
didn't
just
know that.
sorry,
which
Ev,
is
I just want to add.
poor.
I just want to add too. So Diggs and Tate, the commentators got it wrong, and they were like, "Oh yeah, just take the penalty and go past." But just don't pit. That's what they were talking about with Max. But then they rightly corrected themselves probably about half an hour later, and they're like, "Oh, actually,
it
you
took a
get
while.
disqualified." I think Ted corrected them, and like, you get disqualified
didn't
if
even
you
That's
don't
weird.
pit.
I don't know
say
why
that.
they didn't. Why didn't they know that beforehand? That's
I
pretty.
didn't hear
Well,
that
this is
either.
my issue
Anyway.
with this rule, right? Because if that's what you have to, put as a rule in the race to stop people taking liberties,
From
then that's
doctoring it.
then it's
Yeah.
a bad rule and it's a bad track. And
That's
the fact
what-
that they
It's like a bad
predicted
joke.
that- the fact that they predicted
George
that
said
meant
that-
that they knew that there was going to be negative driving. Now, when George did that, they said,
Yeah.
yes, it's probably going to be 10 to 20 seconds, or at worst, a drive-through penalty, which it ended up being. And still then, it was worth taking the drive-through penalty because you made
that
up
was-
so much time by not being stuck behind Mrs.
In
Albon.
that free air.
Fucking
George said afterwards
shit.
that it's the rules obviously aren't correct at this point because I've exploited the rules.
Yes.
Yes.
And still come out on top. So it should have been like 2 drive-throughs or something.
Well, mind you,
it
mind
needed to
you-
be punitive.
I think
and
we
it
need
wasn't.
we need to contextualize it. There was nothing to lose for George because there was
No.
also nothing to
Yeah.
gain, right? It's very
Yeah.
different if you were in the top 10 and you made that call and you were going to get a drive-through penalty that meant you
So,
missed out on the points.
As I die on this hill to
Yep, keep
defend
going.
Monaco.
But are you defending
that
it?
Last,
No, he's
well,
not.
that last bit where Max backed up Lando
Yeah.
into
Into
Charles
Leclerc,
and then
yeah.
into
Yeah.
Piastri,
Piastri.
it would only take one of them to make a slight mistake, and they're all
they
going to
did it.
crash.
But they did it.
and that was excellent to
Yes,
watch
I-
But
because
it
they
was
were
just
really
the what if.
Yeah,
It was the
that
what
was
if.
that's
Yeah.
what you want.
Sure, but what I want is not the ability to drive as slow as you want and hold everyone up. That's not fun
Yeah.
to watch. And that
Yeah,
doesn't...
so like Albon.
Albon signs,
Albon.
whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
What I'm saying
Albon,
is
yeah.
the fact that I'm surprised George didn't exploit it sooner. He should have exploited it in lap 7 or 8 or whenever it started because, again, like you said, what's the worst that could happen? What's the worst of 36? There's so much time which Hadger and Lawson created. There was like 45 seconds. It was like,
Yeah.
oh well.
Yeah. Well, I got a couple of comments here, right? I got a couple of comments which I don't want to labor on this for too long because we will absorb the entire kind of target of an episode length just on this topic alone. But there's a few things here to call out. I mean, first of all, aside from the epic crashes in F2 and the Porsche Cup, which I think you guys saw, Saturday was again the whole point of the weekend, right? The qualifying was great. It was a wonderful event. The race didn't deliver. We've covered that off. I want to ask you a few questions about what do they do moving forward because I've got an idea. Oh, fuck it. I'll go there now. I flagged before. They can't change the race. They're not going to pull out of the contract. We've still got at minimum 6 years. Or I think it's 6 years doing the math until the last contracted race. I can't imagine a world of F1 where Monaco doesn't exist because even when I wasn't an F1 fan, you knew the Monaco Grand Prix,
You knew it.
and if you could, you would watch it, particularly here in Australia because actually it's not a bad time, right? So, first question I have is, Ev, just really quickly, is one simple way to address this to force all cars, if they're going to have the 2-pit mandatory, just force the cars to have to pit in the first half of the race, right?
Yeah,
Like,
I mean,
can that
look,
address it?
What you can do. The only tires available are the softest of the soft.
Oh, yeah,
so
so
every
one
5
tire.
laps you've got to pit.
yeah. I like that. I like that.
You could do something where you have a big bingo hall like roller, and you've got a tumbler, and then you pull out a number, and it's like
that's where you start?
Here's Charles Leclerc's number. And you get 2 sets of mediums and 3 hearts. Good luck.
yeah,
and
yeah,
it's just
yeah,
a bingo.
Yeah, cool.
In all
cool.
seriousness, how
that
you
wasn't
change it is they talked about how you used to be able to where that chicane is when you come out of the tunnel. There's
Yep.
a chicane. They've
Yep.
built high-rise apartments there now, where
Yes.
I think Verstappen and Lewis are living. And
Together.
That's relevant.
but that was from reclaimed land, like Singapore make their airport out of just dumping tons of sand into the ocean and building up a bed.
Whatever.
Just build a width, make it wider at the chicane so
Okay.
that you can. That
Why
it's-
not just
the
make that
chicane's-
chicane straight? Why not just make that chicane straight? Why even bother?
Because
Slows
it's
it
way
down.
too fast.
Oh, okay.
Way too fast.
Okay.
Because there's no runoffs. So just make that chicane wider so that you can. We're going to get smaller cars next year. And then I think in the 5 years later, we get the next round of the next tranche of of changes, and they should be smaller still, back to what they were in the 90s.
Okay.
In which case, you're going to physically be able to get cars around there. So you either make the track bigger, and you've got all the money in the world, make it just like 6 feet wider.
Yeah,
and that's what you have to do because everybody hates Monaco. There's no glamour anymore because
what are you talking? Oh, okay. I'm challenging you.
There's so much trash there now.
Sunday,
yeah, exactly.
Oh, you mean everyone hates Monaco as a city, or you're talking about the Monaco Grand Prix?
It's just not glamorous because now Dubai is because it's so expensive.
No.
You're saying it's lost its pearl.
The guy who's the prince of Monaco, he's just like such an arsehole. His wife is abandoning him, and she's like losing her mind. And
apparently,
anyway. Well, yeah, she's insane.
Yeah.
Well, they're both insane.
So here's a question for you guys. And as I said, there a lot of the drivers, and we'll get to Williams in particular when we get to them in the track. There's almost an element of embarrassment from all, and apologies for it being a really bad race weekend. But then Toto, who I'm sure had a gun pointed at him behind the camera, got up and talked about.
That was so funny.
In fact, he defended it about, ironically, some people have come out and tried to say it's success. At the end of the day, boys, every single one of those grandstands was rammed. It was packed. Now, I mean, this is obviously one of those things where it's like, twice bitten, once shy, or whatever that comment is. Are you coming back next year if you just sat and, it still looked like an incredible day? Has F1 gotten to a point where it's not just about the race?
Not for Conor McGregor.
Everything?
I thought about this. Where, there's got to be an element where the product itself is providing something of substance. I mean, if you want, the Kardashians is one of the most popular TV shows in the world. That's like saying, well, look where all this money is. So F1, why don't you just become Keeping Up with the Kardashians? Because it's a fucking race.
Which it pretty much is.
So if you can't race, what is the point? So we're not here for procession. We're here for race. All those, sure, the stadium was full. Good. If money is your ultimate goal, which I know a big part of it is, but if it's the ultimate and only goal, then you're just going to have a shitty product in the end, and that won't fly over time. It doesn't take that long for people to get sick of things and die. And
Tay,
the product dies.
We made a comment about it being the kind of the jewel of the crown. And Lando got up and talked about it was always a dream to win in Monaco, and people when they reflect on Monaco Grand Prix, and particularly those that have won or want to win, talk about it in such high esteem. Is it a bit of a sad outcome for where we are with Monaco? It's supposed to be it's actually part of the Triple Crown, right? It's the Triple Crown of racing, and weirdly enough, I've got a topic I want to talk about there later, but this is sad, isn't it?
But it's like anything when you have nostalgia for something that once was. I think, we all grew up watching Monaco. Well, at least I know Ev did. Maybe not so much you all, but I remember me growing up, in the late 90s, Monaco was awesome to watch.
Yeah.
But now it's I think it's all the cars' fault. It's the fact that we went bigger.
Yeah.
And I don't think they really considered the fact in the years gone by that how much it would affect how boring Monaco can be now.
Mm. Do you know what I do?
It's such an easy solve, though. It's such an easy solve. And
is
Ollie,
it?
you have. Look, I don't understand. Ollie would have probably the only experience sitting in one of those boardrooms of a sports corporation where it's a discussion between product and revenue, and how do we change things to make it more enticing? How it seems such
without spending money.
It seems such a simple solution just to go, well, let's just have the classic car around in Monaco. We've been saying it for 5 years. It's not new information from us. It's how
girls,
cool
mate.
would that? It looks cool, fixes the racing issue. If you have to have refuel, if it's impossible to have refueling, yes, that's an issue. Maybe they can solve.
Do you know
that
what,
problem.
Diggs?
Make it half the race.
What, a sprint
Make
race?
it a shorter race.
Yeah, but also, can you imagine how many of that field could actually drive one of those older cars?
Learn. learn to drive, and maybe that suddenly makes the
We're moving on. The only good thing to come out of the weekend was the F2, and it was pretty much the race start where there was about a fucking 700 car pile up. So that was a true immediate indication that you can fit plenty of those cars on that track.
Little go-karts.
Yeah.
I got one last question, and actually it came off the back of, I think the best thing to implement for this race is to introduce no blue flags. So it's just pure fucking chaos the whole way through. But Ev, Diggs, Tay, any one of you, how on earth do the marshals keep track of who is a back marker and not? Because I was watching that race on the weekend and I was like, there's a blue flag being waved on every corner in every lap.
Yep.
Like, you are seriously relying on some good communication to know who you're supposed to be getting out of the way for and who you're not. Like,
I think
so considering also, I think Lewis was the last one to have not gotten lapped. And then after him, it was Hajar.
was he? Fifth place was the last place to get lapped.
Yeah, and
Wow.
and even Lewis, because I think it was Crofty, was like, oh, Lewis is coming out and Hajar's just taken in. And it's like, oh, wait a minute. No,
he's a lap
Hajar
behind.
was a lap behind.
Yeah. Well, correct me if I'm
And I was
wrong,
like,
Diggs, but
fucking
weren't
hell.
you confused at the end because George Russell and Antonelli were actually 2 laps before, and they showed up in the top 10 as the waved checkered
so
flag at the end?
They had the top 10 they
Yeah.
had finished, and I was like,
And you were like,
wow,
what a race
I had no
bug."
idea.
Yeah.
And then I was like, so the graphic gets it wrong as well. So, well, ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah, well, their transponders would just obviously be picking up because they...
Well, also, yeah.
Well, I mean, it was hard
On
enough in
that note-
qualies because, like Lewis almost got in Max's way because Max was on his hot lap. And
Yeah.
his
We'll get onto
engineer
that.
was
We'll
like,
get
yeah,
onto
Max
that.
is
Yeah.
slowing down. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, but also Kimi fucking let through Sonoda because Max was behind Sonoda,
Yes.
and he must have gotten a blue fucking flag thinking that he was letting Max through, and it was fucking Sonoda. And
Well.
he gave away a whole position.
Yeah.
Similarly, and
Yeah,
weirdly enough, we will also
Oh,
talk
please
about you.
pass me.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, let's get to the grid, lads. We've obviously given away a bit there, but first place, Lando Norris for McLaren. Obviously, pretty significant weekend for him in his bid to strengthen his world championship credentials, which this podcast and particularly my 3 co-hosts here have done a damn good job of trying to suggest he doesn't have any. The 25-year-old,
It didn't impress
which
me.
is quite incredible. 25 years old. He soaked up the pressure in style to take his first pole position. He was pole. Sorry. He took his first pole position in Monaco and then held off a valiant Charles Leclerc to seal a brilliant first victory around the tight street circuit. It's his first win since the opener in Australia, the 6th of his career, so I think he's now back equal with Oscar. It was also the 5th time he's converted pole into victory, and he's now closed to within 3 points of Oscar for that World Championship fight. Actually, Charles came out post the race and again probably doubled down or echoed this idea that the main race on Monaco is the Saturday in the acknowledgement that Charles said he lost his race the day before. And that was a wonderful qualifying. I mean, full credit to Lando. It was the fastest qualifying time ever set at Monaco. Which was weird because he didn't get purple on any sector, which
What a
is amazing.
loser.
Just that Digby, he just like anyway to turn into a negative. Boys, the main question I've got here for you, I've sensed a real performance turnaround in Lando, mentally and obviously on track. Albeit he did bottle. He nearly bottled that first corner. Everybody thought, even Oscar came out in the post race in the conference room wherever they sit when they're waiting to go and get their trophies. Oscar was like, "Mate, I thought you were gone. I just saw smoke everywhere, and I fully anticipated to see you in the wall." So, I mean, he did his best to almost fuck it up.
Well, he's waiting on the pole position for the longest amount of time.
Yeah,
So his tyres were colder
True,
than
his
anybody
tyres were
else's.
cold. It's a very good point, Ev, and one that we're so quick to dismiss and just assuming these people are bad starters, but they have a lot more to work with than your Lance Strolls on the final position of the grid. Hey, this is the second week in a row he's beaten Oscar. The championship, boys, is really it's exciting. I wish it was between more than just 2 McLaren drivers. Obviously, Max is there.
Max is
He's
still
in
there.
the hunt.
Yeah,
he's only
he's
20.
there.
only 20 championship points off. But again, the thing about Max, guys, is he gets no support from number 2, and we'll get there in a second. But
Rear gunner.
at what point? The rear gunner. At what point do you guys start taking back some of your comments about Lando? What point do you kind of get on this?
Certainly a lot more than a weekend at Monaco, when we've just discussed that you could drive as slow as you want and no one can. So when you say he held off
fair.
Charles, he could have driven 50 k's an hour and still held Charles off. So I'm not getting too excited.
Ricardo won
without
broken, like
fucking,
fifth gear or something. Yeah, and it was like,
And like you said, he almost bottled it in the first corner. So well done, Lando,
Also,
for not fucking up the start, and congratulations on the win.
So why don't we want
Hold on,
three
hold on.
starts in
Clap.
the same race then?
But in saying that all, like, it still takes, like Ev mentioned before, it takes a lot of like fucking resilience not to crash in that kind of situation in the last 20 laps. So he still had to do a good job. I'm not about to go, wow, Lando's back, man. Lando's back. Like, give me 2 more weeks. And I'll let you know. 2 more weeks.
He impressed me. He impressed
me.
me. I'm properly impressed.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Tav.
He did well. No. I was just gonna say, I think he's always gonna win when Mum's in town. Because the 2 times she's been to his races, Oz and Monaco, he's won.
Yeah, okay.
Yep.
Do you know what I love? I love those shots. They must have done it 3 or 4 times, or at least 3 or 4 times on the weekend. You know when they're watching the race and the cameraman gets that profile shot and it just slowly zooms in. You can see the person, their eyes just going, what?
Yeah, they know they're being looked at.
I'm watching the race. It must be so
You know when Ricky
uncomfortable.
Gervais like sucks in the gut when the girl walks in?
You can't, you can't
That's
touch
his
your face.
speech.
You can't make it disgruntled anything. You can't say anything. You've just got to sit still and just stare at the TV like you're just enjoying yourself. This is a great day.
Or pretend you're having a
Pretend
conversation
like it's
with
not
someone.
there.
Yeah, waiting.
Pretend like it's not
That
there.
camera is waiting for you to do something wrong.
Tay, you've been fairly quiet. I mean, you're one of the biggest fucking... You throw a lot of criticism at poor Orlando.
Every week.
Every week, yeah.
We all fucking do.
I don't. I love Lando.
Put it on me. Oh, that's because you think he's going to come on the show.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, no, I think... No, he did great, and all credit to him. But at the end of the day, Monaco is not really the race that is going to showcase what he's truly capable of.
So if we're sitting here and Lando's... And again, his team principals come out and suggested that he fully anticipates to see a run of winning from Lando now. That he's come out, Andreas has come out and said that. I mean, you guys might have seen just how excited Zach Brown was. So I don't know if I'm Oscar, I'm sitting there going, oh, you really do have a favourite. You try and pretend it's not Lando, but it is.
Even if he wasn't Zach's favourite, he's immortalised by saying it's the Lando Norris's era. So it's in Zach's best interest to have Lando do well so he doesn't look like a fucking idiot.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, true. But so, like, if we got, I mean, how many more wins, like, in a track like Silverstone, let's say he wins that, are you guys all going to go, oh, shit, okay, here's the real deal
but
here?
it's all contextual.
Okay.
It said 2 more weeks.
It's all about
If
results.
he convincingly wins the next 2 and there's not some, like, weird accident, it's like, I know he's capable of it. I just get annoyed with him because he complains like it's not his fault, or I'm sure he's capable.
Always a victim.
I want to see him do well, and I haven't seen it yet, and I'm not going to take Monaco as that example. So give me, if Barcelona, if he does great in Barcelona, I'll be back. I'll be back, baby.
Okay, I'll be back, baby. Monaco, baby.
He'll be wearing 44, not 63.
Right, next one was second spot. We've alluded to it already. We've kind of touched on that poor old Charles finished second here. Home soil. He was unable to get Lando despite pressure with Max. So you guys already alluded to it, that Max did such a wonderful job because he knew he had one more pit stop. And he actually, I suspect, made a strategic decision to slow down so that Oscar ended up too. There was Lando, Charles, and Oscar, and they're all within split hairs of each other in those before Max pitted to give up first spot. And I suspect Max was doing that in the hope that they would wipe each other out and he would be able to win the race. Yeah. But poor old Charles, he claimed that he lost the race in qualifying. He didn't really hide his disappointment. He was pretty disappointed about this whole thing, which I found a bit strange because I get it's his home Grand Prix. But Ferrari have been awful for so long. So, like, at what point did he think there was a genuine chance of winning that race? And maybe it's because they seemed to over-deliver in qualifying. Like, I mean, they both did really well in qualifying. They got second and fourth, and Lewis only got shunted because of a penalty, which we'll cover off in a sec. But, I mean, look, it was the best weekend for him this year, best weekend for Ferrari this year. So albeit there's been a lot of negative sentiment around them, broadly speaking, again, I would say that's an incredible outcome for Ferrari.
Yeah, maybe it was
agree,
just frustrating. Yeah, I think it was a great outcome. Maybe he was just frustrated because you're sitting there and you can see first position and there's nothing you can do to take it. So I can see why he'd be upset.
Yep, cool. Tay, Ev, random point, and again, this just continues to undermine the value of the F1's driver of the day, but Charles actually got driver of the day. I mean, if you're going to pick somebody, I mean, my idiot of the day was Isaac Hadjar. I thought he was by far the best of the weekend. But yeah, I mean, anything else to say about Charles' race? Otherwise, shall we keep moving?
Yeah, keep moving. I don't think there's much more to say on his front.
Well, he definitely wasn't driver of the day.
No, he certainly wasn't.
Yep. Okay, cool. Great input, guys. Right. Rounding out the podium in third spot was Oscar, obviously keeping his Drivers' Championship lead by a narrow margin. I think this was his messiest weekend of the season. Yet, again, we joked last week about how they can have a really bad weekend and still finish second and third in last week's race. He's had a really bad weekend and he's finished third. It was his seventh consecutive...
Sliding
he was
out
very,
a lot of
he was
the
very
race.
squirrely. I think is what they tend to... Lots of oversteer
Yeah, didn't
on
he
the
hit
weekend.
the wall?
He hit the
like
wall
3 or 4
multiple
times.
Yeah.
So, it's his 34th consecutive podium... 34th consecutive scoring weekend. No, he hasn't got...
Scoring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was actually his...
Podium, yeah.
It was his 7th consecutive podium. But yeah, he's equal third of all time for most amount of weekends in a row scoring points.
I love that.
Look, ultimately what it did was wrap up
that's
another
awesome.
really solid weekend for McLaren. They've extended their lead now. I think they're like 170 odd points, which is like 7 Grand Prix wins ahead now. So I suspect we're going to get to like halfway through the season and Constructor is done and dusted. Like, I mean, obviously mathematically, it's still alive now. It's probably done and dusted. But come actually halfway through the year, it might be mathematically impossible for somebody to catch up, which is so dominant from them. You got Mercedes and Red
impressive.
Bull. Yeah, it is. And well done to Zach Brown. Guys, have we made a mistake of overhyping Oscar here? Obviously, the reverse of the questions with Lando. No.
Well,
I mean,
like we just
you don't
discussed,
think he's
he came
crumbling?
third.
Is he crumbling?
No, he was squirrely. His car, he couldn't like hold his car on the fucking track in Monaco of all places, and he still managed to come out unscathed.
But
And
what about
I
his
was gonna
fuck-ups
say-
last week?
What I was going to say before, Ollie, is when Lando is like was driving behind Max. Where's Oscar? Why isn't he helping me? Like, come on, man.
Exactly.
Like, Oscar's still he managed to finally get there, but the amount of replays you saw mid-race with the back wheels just like it happened to Lewis. It's been happening to Lewis quite a bit, to be fair to Lewis this year. That car has not helped him, and you see how hard it is to hold that car together.
He fights it.
Yeah, and you can't it's not going to happen to him every weekend. But obviously, I mean, maybe other drivers would have been fifth. You can't compare, so it's hard to tell. I think Oscar's still, you just said it yourself, 34 points in a row. That's third of all time. Like, that's consistency. That's hard to do.
Yeah,
and granted,
exactly.
he's in a great
That's what
car,
matters.
but he's still on the podium. And he beat Max. He's ahead of Max.
So he's still your favourite? You still think he's championship favourite in mind?
Currently, yes.
It's
Change it when
it's
it starts.
funny. So to think that Lewis has got a car. Lewis and Charles have got cars that don't seem to be responsive, and all the cars are heavier, so that's going to make them less responsive. And then Max has got a car that's like over the edge in terms of like quippiness, and so every teammate he's had is suffering because it's undrivable.
We'll come to Yuki in a second, but yeah. All right. Well, look, let's move on to off the podium and round out the top 10. So you've touched on Max there. He finished fourth in the race, which I think probably more than anything was a bit of a damage limitation race for him. He obviously was kind of looked pretty good in quali. Actually, he looked really good over the weekend, and then they just didn't have the race pace. And I think, to be honest with you, if Max had a number 2 driver that was able to genuinely be up there, then his race result would have been very different. And to be fair, Christian actually made a comment pre-race about acknowledging that Yuki is probably not where he needs to be. Guys, he was one of the most outspoken drivers about the lack of overtaking opportunities. He was asked about it post-race on his thoughts, and he more or less said, it doesn't really matter because you can't race here anyway. So I think that says a lot about where Max is at with that track.
I loved it. I loved his response.
Yeah. Look, I honestly,
Max.
he is going from, and the irony is, I loved Max when he wasn't a winner, and then I stopped liking him, and now I like him again.
Because he's not winning.
Yeah.
It's such a great. It was again saying what we're all thinking. Well, what does it matter? You can't overtake here anyway, so who cares? It's like, who cares?
Yeah.
Hey, there's an F1 movie coming out. Yeah, who cares?
Well,
I hated that advertising, by the way.
You mean in the tunnel?
Mm-hmm.
In the tunnel, but in other tracks they use digital marketing because he figured out the angle of the camera would mean that you could then put something in there that would fit and look half realistic. But yeah, I didn't.
I don't want to labor on it for too long. But let's talk Yuki just because we're on it. Really bad weekend for him. He came 17th.
It was unfortunate.
Unfortunate or just not good enough. I mean, look, he had some things not go his way, but he had a pretty unlucky qualifying. But I don't know. I would be. I've got a question I want to ask you guys about the number 2 driver, but I want to get to Hadjar there. I guess the thing I want to call out here is you guys must have seen it because you mentioned it, but Martin Brundle was on the grid walk and he asked, he caught Christian on the grid walk and he asked Christian a question about, we've got 4 cars out there today, so you've got 3 teammates to help Max, how are you going to activate that? And Christian was actually very snappy. He wasn't very happy with... I suspect he wasn't very happy with that line of questioning.
Touched the nerve, did we, Christian?
Yeah, touch a nerve, did we, Christian?
Do you want to talk about your marriage instead?
I don't think the Racing Bulls had any real positive impact on Max's race, but I think we've discussed this previously. But why and how can one team have effectively 4 cars on track? Like, I get we have customer teams, but this is so profoundly different, isn't it? I don't understand why this is allowed.
This is
100%.
No.
Here we go. Got it.
Tell me why.
He'll make it up. He'll make it up if it's not true.
No. Fucking, I have to look it up now.
Okay,
all of that, they are
too late.
extensions of a brand. They are not in-house. Ferrari is in-house. But that is the exception to the rule. It's not about them having 4 cars. I know it appears that way, and it probably is, Christian. I don't think they're going to be holding you up, Max has to overtake a Racing Bulls. What's going to happen?
But you saw it in Drive to Survive. Like, Christian would go and have talks with the guys about, well, how's Daniel going and is he ready? It's like, I don't get it. And okay, so let's say, for instance, Ev, that Red Bull were charitable and went, you know what, fuck it, we'll save it. Okay,
yeah, they were. They genuinely were.
Okay, sure. I'll buy that 20 years
Fucking
ago,
heroes.
30 years ago, however long.
Yeah, like 20 years ago,
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
But it's been 20 years. You've got all these other cars, brands that want to come on the grid. Why? I'm all for more cars on the grid. Like, I want 24 cars, 26.
Yeah, me too.
Just not Monaco.
Yeah.
But when you've got all these, like, when you've got Andretti out there saying,
Imagine
I can
gridlock.
pay my way, I can do this, why don't you just go, oh, okay, well, yeah, sure, take this other fucking Red Bull team. Like, why do they have to come in as a new team?
Let me get my money back.
Because, unfortunately, each franchise is worth about $1 billion now.
But it's the same one. It's the equity is Red Bull's equity.
No, yeah, but they only paid like $200 million. They're not about to give up, sell $1 billion franchise for $200 million or something.
Okay, all right, okay, fine.
And which is unfortunate,
especially when you can have 4 cars on the grid.
Yeah. Hey, all right, let's move to 5th spot. Lewis, we've touched on Lewis. He qualified fourth, as I said earlier, but he got a 3-place grid penalty for impeding Max Verstappen, and he started the race in 7th. I mean, look, we're going to get to some radio challenges here in a second, but clearly a big fuck up here based on what has come out during the qualification. Lewis was told to push when in fact he should have been told to hold because Max was on a flying lap behind
Push
him.
lap.
And actually this is the best moment of the entire weekend. This what happened next. The best moment of the weekend where I thought, holy shit, that's so wonderful to see. So Max was obviously furious. Fucking Lewis, blah, blah, blah on the radio. After the race, Max found out that Lewis had been given a wrong steer by his radio. And there's a wonderful moment where they're actually together and they're like high-fiving or kind of... Yeah, it was just really nice because there's been such a hate relationship. It feels like there's been a hate relationship. So I thought that was really awesome. But yeah, big fuck up. He managed to climb back to 5th in the race. Overtaking, well, actually, when we say overtaking, he got past Hajar and Fernando Alonso because they pitted early. But he still ended up... What did I... Fucking hell. Yeah, Alonso. Jesus. He still ended up 45 seconds behind race winner Lando Norris. Again, you can literally tell the moment where Lewis has got to turn on his PR filter. So again, I'm not sure if you guys saw the post-racing
when he's spruiking his alcohol-free tequila.
But he's been asked,
delicious.
he's been quizzed by Sky Sports, and she's like, "Oh, do you know why?
Oh,
Why?"
yeah.
And he's like, "Nope, one-word answer." He was so cold and he was so prickly, and then it was almost like he was given a prong to be like, "Hey, turn
what
it
was
on,
she doing?
be nice."
She was like, "Yeah, why were you 45 seconds behind?" And he's like, "I don't know, it's just racing."
He goes, "No."
She's
She
like,
goes,
"Do you know
she goes,
why?" He's
"No,
like, "Nope."
No, he was like, she was like, that's surprising, is it? And he goes, "Not really. Why would it
Not
be a
really.
surprise?" Yeah, like he had a bit of Max Verstappen coldness
I like
about
that.
him.
I like that, Lewis. Yeah.
Yeah, but then,
Yeah.
like, you could tell he'd gone too hard in those first two
Yeah,
questions, and then she asked the next question, and he was like, "Oh fuck, I gotta correct here. I gotta steer this shit back because I've gone." Look, he branded his Monaco race as miserable. He'd been left in no man's land. He wasn't close enough to challenge the leaders, nor under threat from behind, leading to a pretty lackluster race experience. Gents, we've spoken about the qualifying mishap. We've alluded to there being a bit of a radio challenge and engineer Lewis challenge. Ev, you've tied that back up to a cultural difference, maybe more than anything. It was quite possibly the most awkward fucking moment, or at least something I've never ever seen. But Lewis is on radio, broadcast on Sky, where he's transmitting back to his garage. Tough result. Yeah, big thank you to the boys, as I said, for fixing the car. It's not been the easiest weekends, but we live to fight another day. So yeah, thanks.
Sure.
Silence,
Yeah,
silence,
yeah.
silence.
There we
And
go.
then, are you upset with me or something? With no response. Like, it was... I've never, ever heard Lewis like that. And for me, that "are you upset with me" something seriously indicates there's a fucking problem here.
What an
now,
odd
Fred,
question.
Yeah.
well, for me, it felt like I was watching something out of, I don't know, a reality TV show. You know, and
Imagine-
it's
No,
like they're on
yes,
a
like,
breakup. They're about to
Like,
break up.
If they were upset with him and there was a history of them possibly being upset, a lot of people also wouldn't ask that question because they would
It's
know.
just...
And if they
And you know
weren't
you're
doing
on
anything-
live TV.
yeah, that's why I think it was on purpose, because if they had been upset with him, you wouldn't need to ask it. If they hadn't been, what an odd
they
question
don't-
to ask. Like you,
They don't
Am I
know what's
upset
going to be
you-
reported
no,
on the.
I know, but it's
on
still
the
an
TV.
it's still an odd question to ask. Are you upset with me? It's not his dad.
It's weird. It's weird.
it's his
It's
engineer.
weirdly personal. Go, Tay. Just jump in. Rip in.
Yeah. I think it's just with the history of it all, I think he had every right to ask. I didn't think it was weird. I just think it was just like, fucking hell, I'm just exhausted from this race. I've had zero communication from you guys. And like, I've just finished.
It's
I've had-
childish. What do you mean? Why are you upset with me? What a dumb fucking question. I'm sorry. It was weird. It was weird.
Like, I know I'm
don't
not
think it was
disagreeing.
that off.
I'm not
In the
disagreeing with you,
context of
Tay,
it all.
with how weird everything else was. Like, how am I still a minute behind? Yep, softs and mediums. What? what the fuck? Like, whatever they answered, it was like, I would be angry at my
whenever
engineer.
you call in,
like,
you're interrupting their lunch order.
What have I done to upset you?
So Fred got interviewed as well afterwards, and he was asked what the deal was going on, and his reasoning was behind the fact that when you get to certain, I think, corners 3 or whatever, and you're coming up towards the tunnel, if you're having a radio message before the tunnel, they've all been told not to answer until after.
Well, after the
until
corners.
later on.
Yeah.
They use,
and after the tunnel. Yeah.
They're walkie-talkies. They don't.
It's
use
not a
Skype,
walkie-talkie. It's a
not-
fucking. It's. I know what you mean, but like, let's
No,
not.
it's a radio.
Let's not pretend
It's radio. It's-
prehistoric
it's not-
fucking
Yeah, it's like-
technology.
Yeah, but it's not like
That's a 10-4.
yeah. He's got to like crank the thing.
Morse
code.
Yeah, I've got to call in the bombers to get the. Tom Hanks has got to call them in. So
Hold on, let me just pull my helmet down while I talk into my walkie-talkie while driving.
They can't use satellite communication, obviously, because there's such a delay. So it's just and so it doesn't work in Monaco at all because there's too many high-rise
So that's all,
apartments in
guys. That's all
too
well and
close,
good
so-
for justification to
Yep.
why he
I know
may
where
not
you're
have
going.
responded. Because this was the issue, was that he also didn't respond to fucking Lewis's question about, are you upset with me or
think
something.
he's-
There was no response at all. So that's all fine. I get it. It's still a weird question. To me,
I think he was just emotional. He's dejected by it all.
Yeah, but
mate, this is a 7-time world champion, potentially the best driver.
He still can have emotions.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
can still feel his
Babe,
pain.
you can
Yeah.
have emotions, but you have to also, as an adult, a successful
It's
adult,
weird.
who's
Pain.
competed, control-
Pain.
Like, what,
It's hard.
like, what did you? What was the best scenario to come out of that question?
What answer was coming that was going to solve that question?
Are you guys
Like-
upset with me? No, Lewis, we're not. Oh, thank God. Thank God. I'm
Yeah.
just.
Oh,
thank
I guess I can go back to the
Imagine
pit lane
being on
then.
the train or the bus and you hear someone when they're making a phone call.
Yes,
and
that's
you
exactly what it
you
was.
hear them
And
like,
are you mad at
It's
me?
cringe. It's
Are
cringe
you
for sure.
mad at me?
It's like, I think we
Felt
should
like
go
a
for coffee.
manipulative
I think we should go for
yeah,
a coffee.
yeah. We need to do this conversation in a public space.
We move on.
It was
Anyway,
weird.
let's, let's not
all
labour
jokes
on
aside, like
Lewis.
Okay.
I think
All right. Well, let's move to sixth spot then. It was Racing Bulls, Isaac Hadjar. Look, phenomenal rookie season continued as he delivered his most complete F1 weekend on the streets of the Principality. He achieved a career best sixth place. And to be fair, and this really was a team weekend for them. He did credit Liam. So Liam Lawson, he credited big time. Because unfortunately, Liam was one of those. In fact, this team was one of those that did exactly that of holding up the rest of the grid to allow their drivers. So there was a period where, correct me if I'm wrong, but the Racing Bulls hadn't pitted by like lap 30 or something like that.
Yeah.
And they were next to each other and pretty much. And so Liam held back the entire rest of the grid to allow Hadjar to pit twice pretty much in that period. He pitted for 4 laps on softs and then pitted again. It's kind of wild and goes back to
kind of incredible.
It is. Look, don't get me wrong. Like you have to
It's
be
cheeky as fuck.
I think you'd have to be thinking so quickly out there, and we can't undermine that. Even though like it was a shit race, the amount of thinking and scenario planning that must have been going on at those pit walls to figure out how to get who to hold who up and what that person might do if they were held up with their other teammate. Like it. Don't get me wrong. It's no strategic easy street there. Like I think that's the best thing to take out of all of it is that those pit walls would have had to have been so on song to make that work. And I think Williams is.
They
is
also
to be
had a
credited.
couple of weeks to work it out.
Yeah, true.
Could they
Yeah,
not
but
have
you can't.
done?
But I
'cause-
don't think that was decided before the race started. I think they suddenly realized what they could do, so they did it. And
Yes.
then Williams
Nah,
are like, we could do
someone-
that too. Because I think if you,
That's right.
I think there would have been more uproar with the two-stop because there'd be fears that another team would do it to you and be like, this is a bad idea. We shouldn't be doing the two-stop. This is going to happen. No one predicted that was going to happen. I don't think.
No, true.
All it takes is one strategist.
Guys, Racing Bulls enjoyed its best weekend of the season with both, obviously, Isaac and Liam scoring points. We'll get to Liam in a second, but he finished, I think it was 8th. Yep, 8th.
Yeah, 8th.
That was the first time since 2019 that both their cars have scored at Monaco. Here's one for you. and this is the point that I've been curious about discussing with you guys, particularly off the idea that, look, Red Bull's got 4 cars out there, so let's not pretend they don't. Hadjar's now got more points than both Lawson and Yuki combined. He's actually now 10th on the Drivers' Championship, and he's knocked off pod favourite Lance Stroll, who, albeit hasn't scored any points in like 4 or 5 races, has sat with the 10th most points for a while.
And like in last as well.
Yeah.
Like he's just pulling
yeah.
up the rear.
Gents, there's no question about the fact that Hadjar is going to soon come into Helmut Marko's contention for that number 2 Red Bull seat. I've got a theory I want to put towards you. Obviously, it's against the idea that Red Bull have 4 cars, not 2. Why don't Red Bull just rotate all of their drivers regularly for that number 2 seat? Right? So you split the season up into 4.
No, they should.
And you rotate the drivers so it's less definitive and less embarrassing, where you don't actually have to fire a driver like Liam because he's not good enough. You go, right, Lawson, you've got the first 8 races. Yuki, you've got then the next 8 races. Hadjar, you've got the 8 after that, and then fuck it, we'll go and find someone, or offer up who we believe is the best driver for the final 8 races. Change the entire narrative so it's not like failings but testings. Why not do that when you've got clearly a number 2 seat that's cursed? You're not settled on one driver. They're definitely not settled on Yuki. I can absolutely assure you that Yuki will not be in that seat next year. I don't
Especially without Honda.
I don't understand that when they have this opportunity, they're so definitive when they've granted they had Sergio Perez for a couple of years, but they were always talking about replacing Sergio. So, if they can't win the Constructors this year, why not spend the year genuinely finding your proper number 2 driver?
As a communicator, marketing is communication. Formula One is all about communication. Why are you being him and who's the guy, Flavio, patron saint of idiots of F1, and he came out and he came out and he said, "Oh no, what's his face? Colapinto has got 5 races. He had 5 races.
Yeah, well, that's kind of where the thinking was.
And now he said, "Oh no, it's an ongoing thing."
Yeah, whatever.
And
yeah.
I'm like, "Yeah, fuck you, mate." Like he brought in $20 million
Another great
from Argentina.
Another great weekend for them.
Why are you doubling down on a stupid claim instead of broadening your opportunity by saying, "Well, Yuki's got 5 races.
That's right.
Hadjar, I'll give him 5." And then you don't look like an asshole. You don't look like an asshole.
Yeah.
Put Max in the VCAL.
Well, we joked about that. Remember, there was a point
Yeah.
at the beginning of the year where we said that there was literally a point in the season, it was like the 2nd or 3rd race, where Racing Bulls looked like they might be better. That car might be better than the Red Bull.
Yeah.
We're like, oh, wouldn't it be hilarious if we saw Max in that car at the end of the year? Because that's the number 1 car. Anyways, Diggs, did you have anything you wanted to add there?
This weekend was all down to qualifying. Hadjar, I wasn't as excited about as you guys, just because once he's in that position, how's he going to give it up? Unless they fucked up. And Lawson was there. Lawson was there to save him for the pits. So it's like, unless he crashed, which he's a good driver. I'm not saying he didn't have a good drive. I'm just saying he didn't have a bad drive.
True.
Doesn't that suck though? Just on that note, doesn't that suck though that you have some of these guys come in and they do well on Saturday, and they just happen to retain their positions, finish in there, and get those points.
That's
it's
racing
almost
for
like
you. That's racing.
no,
Monaco.
but it's just like, oh, you got it by default because it's Monaco.
Well,
that
you
does
did.
suck.
You got it by
other-
smashing the qualification and then executing a pretty safe strategy. So
that's my whole problem with the whole weekend.
7th spot was Ocon for Haas.
Put that on a t-shirt.
Yeah, put that on a t-shirt. So 7th spot, guys. Ocon, who
I didn't even know he was in the race. Honestly.
No, I know.
Nothing.
Didn't see him
Nothing the whole time.
Nah.
I thought he was last, and then I was like,
That's
"Oh,
so
he's
nice for him.
because he was in
Good
front
for
of
him.
He was in front of the Williams, so
Clap.
the whole story was Williams, and then he was just doing his thing.
Yeah, I agree.
Anything above that.
Here's an interesting fact for you guys. So him and Gasly, the only ones that, Yuki doesn't live in Monaco, but Gasly and Esteban don't live in Monaco because they're French and they don't get the same tax exemptions because they are French. So they live in Italy, I think it is. Anyways, his up and down season continued. He scored an unlikely podium there in 2023 when he was with Alpine. So obviously, happy to be in that hunting ground once more with some points. He gave Haas their highest start in Monaco since 2019. So again, pretty solid. He then made up. He qualified in 8th, I think it was. So he made up the one spot in the race to give the American team their best Monaco finish and end his run of 3 races without a point.
They got that spot though because Alonso crashed or retired. He retired.
Yeah, it is a shame. We'll get to
Mercedes power unit
in a minute. There's some questions about the reliability coming out at the moment with Mercedes because they had both their cars weren't great in qualifying. With George's conking out halfway through the tunnel, which again I think was the best visual of the whole weekend. Is like watching something out of the Flintstones where all those people were pushing that car.
Did you see that one guy do absolute nothing but run around the car?
Yeah. Brilliant,
like a red shell in Mario Kart. What's more telling, when he crashed at the chicane, Kimi Antonelli, he clipped the wall in qualifying.
Clipped
the wall and went straight.
Yeah.
It is extremely telling that the stewards, the guys who went on to try to recover the car, they were telling him to leap out of the car. So when you see a car come into the pits, and if when they're on the grid, there is a green light above the driver's head. That is to indicate that the car is grounded. Because it will kill you instantly. It's enough voltage. So the guys who were pushing George, they've got rubber gloves, and they're like, they go up to your forearm. They have to be extremely long rubber gloves in case you touch something, because you'll just die. And so I think there was someone earlier in the season who had a crash, and the steward closest didn't have the gloves. And so the commentators are like, well, what's he like? Go out there and help. It's like, no, he didn't, for whatever reason. He wasn't assigned rubber gloves.
How fascinating.
So, he had to leap out of the car. Even though it's carbon fiber, I don't know how that
So there'd be elements of the car
transfers
that
electricity.
It won't be the whole car. The whole car doesn't turn into an electric
to
bomb.
The failure of the Mercedes, which has been hitting curbs and shorting out. And so obviously something in the design of the battery pack or the connection between that and the CPU of the car.
Yep.
And it's screwing up because they couldn't tell. I think the light was off. And it wasn't either. It should be red, like it's supposed to indicate, don't touch me.
Don't touch it.
The driver has to sit in the car and try to like leap out of it without touching the halo, which is incredibly hard, you can imagine. So that really is an undercurrent of Mercedes.
No pun intended.
How is
that not a safety issue?
Yeah, no, it is, of course.
Yeah.
All right, well, I mean, if you jumped into that conversation halfway through and you heard Ev talking about rubber gloves and red lights, you would be questioning what on earth he was talking about there, touching things and jumping out. Look, let's very quickly round out the top 10 because I am so pressed for time. We touched on Lawson. Finished with his first points of the season in 8th spot, comfortably his best race of the year. No doubt a bit of a pressure reliever. Gents, I'd go so far to suggest he's probably in the process of being a bit more settled now, certainly settling down. He's had a few better weekends. Maybe it's in line with his growing facial hair. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but he's kind of he's gone unhinged on that. He's grown his beard. 9th spot and 10th spot went to Williams. So Alex Albon finished in 9th, Carlos in 10th. Valuable points for the team. And I think historically, in fact, actually, boys, that was the first double points in Monaco for Williams in 20 years. Like that is how long it has been that they have been, quite awful. It was great to have another double points. And I've obviously been pretty excited about the idea of Williams finishing 4th. But Ferrari had another really good double points weekend, and they're now something like 90 points ahead. So, I think everybody will be quite satisfied in pursuing a 5th spot finish here. But just... Yes, Tay, what were you going to say?
I was just going to say you might have been about to hit on that, but do you think it's a controversial double points for Williams based on how they race?
No.
Yeah, I mean, no. Like you race. Sport is about adapting to the context that you're given, right, or what's in front of you.
Yeah.
So every race, and I think it was you, Tay, that asked a question earlier in the pod, like they would have been planning for this, but I suspect that none of them would have wanted to execute it until they saw somebody else execute it and be like, all right, cool, they're going to do it, we're going to do it. We're not going to be the bad guys that ruin.
There's the loophole.
I really enjoyed James talking about it to the commentators too. I quite liked his perspective. He's like, no one wants to do this. And you've just said, I didn't realize
these are the regulations.
thing. Yeah. Of course you're going to do that if it means a double points, like you are doing whatever it takes.
Yeah.
But I disagree, Tay. I don't think it's controversial because there was no indication because of the scenario of this race about who was doing well. You couldn't tell. Like, there's no way that RB would have deserved to be where they were, but you couldn't get around them. So how are we supposed to know who's fastest?
But we always know that F1's as much about strategy and decision making as it is about like how good you are at racing. But Tay, to your question, I think they were the most embarrassed about it, and that's what I love about this team. Like, I mean, Carlos is probably. Well, Carlos probably less so, but Alex and James Vowles I find to be very kind of, low key, humble, and I like how that they do tend to acknowledge things. And I think Alex Albon is just one. I loved his post race interview where he was talking about this. He obviously made a joke about George, and George just overtaking him and copying. And he made a joke about. George made a joke about Alex owing him dinner because, George was behind Alex while Alex held up the grid so that Sainz could pit twice. And to be honest with you, in great fashion, the pair of them went out for dinner and they circulated a photo afterwards of Albon holding the receipt saying that he'd made up for it. So I think they were embarrassed about the whole thing. It is what it is. I guess what can you expect? But yeah, I believe that James Vowles also, there's that little interaction between he and Toto.
That was so funny.
When it was funny, and the memes are even funnier. And then, by all accounts, he did text Toto as well to apologise. But I think Toto acknowledges that it's part of it. Toto would have done exactly the same thing.
Yeah, exactly. And despite the negativity of the race, it produced a lot of entertainment. Outside of the race,
agree.
There was so many, and so this is my worry: is that the F1 are going, but everyone the stadium was filled. We're all talking about it. There's hilarious memes, and I'm like, but that's not why I watch F1. I don't watch F1 so I can look at the memes. I watch F1 because it's enjoyable, and that's a bonus.
You asked me a question earlier about like being exposed to decision making in high performance elite sport. I suspect the drivers have a big bearing on decisions that are made, and none of them. There's no way that two-stop is happening next year without some form of radical change because they just won't want to drive it. And I think they're all pretty outspoken. When you can't afford as the F1, even though it was an FIA implementation, you can't afford as the F1 for your commentators, your team principals, and your drivers all to be slagging it in press. Either live broadcast or post, because it does nothing in terms of the commercial potential of that race. Now, I don't think Monaco will ever have a problem of filling those stadiums, but I think it has a bearing on the broader reputation. It is so beautiful. Oh my God, I sat there. It's like watching the
drone shot that they kept doing of the casino. It would just drift off to the riders. That was possibly the best shot I've ever seen in F1.
It was just so beautiful. It's so aspirational. Like, you sit there and you're like, how would you not want to be there? And granted, you have to be worth a fortune to even get there. But it reminded me a bit of like, I don't know anything about Tour de France, but I watched Tour de France because of the countryside and the narrative around it. It's just beautiful. So, I mean, at least Monaco's got that going for it. Quickly, notable mentions. We've touched on Mercedes. Look, weekend to forget for them. George Russell finished 11th, and he was quite lucky to finish 11th, and Antonelli actually finished last when you remove those that DNF'd. Which is a bit of a shame. It all came down to a really bad qualifying weekend. They wouldn't have been in those positions if they qualified well. The highlight of the weekend, as I said, was George taking Nat around Monaco in his brand new Merc. It's a wonderful piece of storytelling. It's also a beautiful car. And really, just because I always do this, but Stroll watch, literally nothing to see here, gents. Still no points. A couple of weekends in a row now for no points. I feel bad for Alonso, who is showing that there is some life in that car because Alonso was brilliant in qualifying. But his car, I think he had to DNF again.
Stroll did almost cause a crash. I don't know if you saw it. It was during the blue flags.
Yep.
And it wasn't bad, but it was like an inch the other way, and it was bang.
What about what he did to Charles? What about what he did to Charles
exactly.
in FP1? It was like the first session of the day, and he just moved in on fucking Charles as Charles was coming around the hairpin.
And his excuse was, I didn't hear you tell me that he was coming around the corner.
Yeah.
I didn't hear you.
Yeah.
I was like, come on, bro.
Just on Alonso, guys. This is his worst season start in 10 years, which is crazy. He has actually been a part of qualifying at Monaco 21 times, which it would have been 22 if he didn't take a year off to go do Indy. I think that was 2018.
So he's seen Williams get their double points twice, at least.
He has, yeah. The only person on that
so
grid
true.
that would have seen that. And he's actually completed 409 races. And we were celebrating and talking about Red Bull's 400th race last year. Alonso has done more races than Red Bull, which is fucking wild.
And then an entire team.
That is so wild. Okay, here we go. It's time for everyone's favourite segment where the points don't matter unless you dig me, who won't stop bringing it up. Yes, it's Has You Been Paying Attention, the quiz where we find out which of our co-hosts has been quietly absorbing F1 knowledge and which one thinks Catalunya is a type of cheese, or where Carlos Sainz is from. Here's how it works. 8 rapid-fire questions, each designed to test our guests on the week's theme. This time, it's all about Barcelona. But we're not just talking tyre degradation and DRS zones. Oh no, this week we're diving into F1 history and general Spanish trivia. Expect paella, Picasso, and possibly Fernando Alonso fever dream. Now, a quick reminder of the scores. Digby is currently leading the championship on 5 points, while Ev and Tay are locked in a tense midfield battle, or back-of-pack battle. Both work. I'm laughing because I've said that fucking line 7 times, and I kept on saying paddle. Both sitting on 4 points, so it's very close. Basically, it's anyone's game unless you're hoping for fairness or objectivity. In line with the order of competition standings, my favourite part of each week is the buzzer test. So we're going to start with you, Diggs, and then Tay and Ev, and I'm eagerly waiting to be disappointed here. So, Diggs, rip it off, mate. What's your buzzer?
I'm going to go with Stroll. No! Oh, it's Alonso.
It's good. Okay.
You have to say all of that every time.
Yeah, every time.
All of it every time.
Yeah, Tay, you never ever disappoint me, except for every time you do.
Yeah.
Always.
Yes.
Yeah, no. Which is
Here we go.
every
Here we
time.
go. Get your high expectations here. Raise them.
In light of Lewis and having no one there on the radio, it is hello. Is it me you're looking for?
We'll take it. You have to
That's
sing
a
it.
t-shirt right there.
better.
That's a t-shirt.
I can't believe you're not going, are you upset with me? Okay, Ev, what do you got?
I've got 2.
No, just choose
and
one.
I'm going to say both because I don't know if we're going to talk about this in
Just do the buzzer.
the roundup.
Let's
It's
go.
either Zach pick because Zach Brown
got
is
it.
clearly on
We got
Ozempic.
it.
Yep.
All right, there you go. Or the other one was Monaco,
Monaco.
Yeah, I like Monaco. That's
which
clever.
is more
That's
clever. There
Yeah,
you
it's
go.
good. Monaco.
Yeah,
That's
there
good.
we go.
Okay,
we got there in the end.
we did. Fucking poor
You did.
everybody. With that, let's see who
Buddy, I always
has
get there in the
or
end.
hasn't been paying attention, and who's about to be in. All right, hold on.
Can I
and
cha-
so with
can I
that,
change-
let's see who
Can I
Hedgehog.
change
has.
my buzzer? I want to change my buzzer to where's Oscar.
Monaco, Hedgehog.
Sorry, where's Oscar? 'Cause
Where's
it's
Oscar?
More, it's
Yeah.
quicker. It's quicker.
Okay, all right.
Oh, boo.
I did. There's
Right.
no crying in baseball.
Okay, let's see who has or hasn't been paying attention and who's about to embarrass themselves in 2 languages. Question number 1. Which driver famously collided with his teammate on the first lap of Barcelona in 2016? Really?
Hello?
Yeah? And you got to sing
Hello?
it, Tay.
Uh,
Not just say hello.
Yeah.
that's,
Sorry.
that's my job. It's like, hello?
Hello?
Is anyone going to fucking
Hello?
answer?
Is it?
No, do your
I'm
buzzer.
gonna say it big as.
Do it.
Hello, is it me you're looking for?
He's always been tone deaf. He's always been tone deaf.
He just did that in front of the whole internet, by the way.
Hurry up, go, Tay. What do you got? What do you got? Who is it?
Lewis and Nico.
Well done. It is. It was. This was the infamous crash between Hamilton and Rosberg, which happened at Barcelona. Fucking scarily 9 years ago, boys. Time is going quick. Right, 1-0 to Tay. He's out of the gates. Question number 2. How many Formula 1 drivers have been from Spain? I probably should have just said Spanish, but there you go.
That's like your Italy one last week, you fuck.
Where's
Yeah.
Oscar?
Hey, I still would Fangio.
I'm just
and he was
going to guess
Brazilian.
because I have no idea. 7.
No, you are wrong. Either you're going to have a crack.
I was waiting for Ollie's reaction because sometimes his
Nah,
reaction-
I'm
yeah,
trying
no,
not to.
it's
he's
I'm
very
trying not
bad
to.
at hiding his reaction sometimes.
Higher or lower?
Yeah. Monaco.
What do
I'm
you
gonna
got?
go with.
It's a good buzzer.
Is this throughout like the whole?
Yeah.
Like from the 50s.
Yeah.
I'll say 18.
No.
Yeah, see? You see? You see?
Which way though? Which way?
Yeah, I
I'm
know,
gonna
I
say.
know, yeah.
Okay. Hello, is it me you're looking for?
What do you got, you dickhead?
20.
No, it's 15.
Ah.
It's 15.
Fuck.
Which includes Alonso and Sainz, obviously.
Yeah, of course,
Okay,
of
still
course.
1-0. Question number 3. How many drivers from Spain have actually won a Grand Prix?
Where's Oscar?
Hello, is it me you're looking for?
Oh, that was Tay.
Well, does it count if Tay started earlier but Digby finished first?
yeah. That sounds like their
this
sex
isn't
life.
the first time Digby's finished first, but we'll leave it there.
Go,
that
Tay,
one's for
what-
Nat.
Tay, what do you got?
I thought you were going to say Monaco, but you said every GP.
Yep.
It's pure guess, so I'm just going to say
As opposed to
9 of them.
Fuck that. Yep. Wrong. It's wrong. But so you're going to go out and say that more than 50% of all Spanish drivers have won a Grand
Yeah.
Prix. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
And so my answer
Over
is
50 years,
My
75
answer would be
years.
Yeah,
Two.
75 years.
Digby, you are bang on, buddy.
Snap.
Sainz
Look at
and
him.
Alonso.
Indeed it is.
Holy
Really?
shit.
Yeah,
that is
Alonso
really
has-
bad.
Alonso has 32 wins and Sainz has 4. So well done, Diggs. You equal it up 1-1.
Yeah.
Question 4. Who has won the most amount of Spanish Grand Prix?
Oh, you're
Monaco.
Hello, you.
Boom.
Nah, that was Evan. What do you got, Evan?
Yeah.
Lewis. Tay. Is it equal? Is this a tied thing? Is it a trick question?
He's just double checking his answer.
Is it a
so it's not
succulent
No,
trick
no.
question?
No. Is that your answer, Ev?
Yes.
Tay, what were you going to say?
Schumacher and Lewis.
Tay's right, because actually they're equal. But you can have half
Yeah.
a point
6.
for that. You can have half a point, Ev.
All right, I'll take a half. I'll give Tay a whole. I'll take a
Yeah,
half.
and you're right, Tay. They
They've
have
taken
6.
6 each.
They have 6
Yeah.
each.
Really?
All right.
How do you know that?
That
do you-
was some research I did tonight.
He does his homework. Okay, so here's a bonus point for that question. How many times has Alonso won the Spanish Grand Prix?
Monaco.
What do you got?
Deuce.
Well done, Evan. 2 it is. He makes up.
that was
for
a
it.
guess. No, that was a wild guess.
Oh,
I knew that he wouldn't have won it more than like 2 or 3 because his hot streak was only like he kept
early.
getting tripped.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So he won it
There
in
you go.
2006 and 2013. So just a quick
Is that-
score check.
yeah.
Tay is on 2, Ev's on 1.5, and Diggs is on 1. Have I got that right?
Yeah.
Diggs is going to argue. No,
But
okay.
Diggs is the only one who actually won for an actual question.
No, Tay got his right.
What?
Yeah,
I
Tay
got both of them
Oh,
right,
yeah,
you
that's
dickhead.
Yeah, but
Right.
Digby's winning a moral victory
Here
because
we
he
go.
didn't
Here we go.
do
Here
any
we go.
research.
Stay with me. Question 5.
Nerd.
What what drink would you most likely get? And I'm gonna fuck this up. If you ordered a café con leche, café con leche. It's supposed to be Spanish,
What?
just in case people drink.
Fucking now. How are we meant to know
Café
this? How are we meant to...
con leche. Oh, hey Google, how do you pronounce this?
So you're asking us what is that drink?
Yeah, what is that drink? Café
Okay.
con leche.
Where's Oscar?
Is it like a?
It's a
Yeah, what do you
Hello.
got? No, that was
it's a coffee.
obviously.
Yeah, well, that's the question. What
That's
kind
not
of
enough. That's not
Yeah, but
enough.
there's
No,
more
Coffee,
to it.
a
that's
coffee
not enough.
with.
a
Monaco.
No, I already said
Shot.
hello, Ev.
All right.
Tay, what do you got?
Is it coffee and caramel?
Wrong. It's so typical of you because you don't order coffee without a fucking syrup in it, you bitch.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Yeah,
American.
Yeah.
So American.
Yeah. Ev, what were you going to say?
I want to say that it's a type of a.
No, you're wrong.
coffee.
Whatever the fuck you're
Affogato,
saying.
but it's a coffee
Ooh.
with, instead of ice cream, it's a cornetto.
Oh,
You're an idiot.
yeah. I mean, like, yeah. Why would you further complicate it? You were actually on the right track. It's
Oh,
simply,
really?
It's simply coffee with milk. It's like a
But that's isn't.
no, because you can have a
Okay.
black
It's
coffee,
white.
particularly in
Flat
Europe.
white.
It's a flat white.
Well, pretty much. Yeah.
Or
Or
it's
a
a latte.
macchiato, or a-
it's a cappuccino.
Yeah. So-
Anything with milk in
Because you
it.
pour
Ev.
the macchiato over the ice cream.
God, I really
Alright,
regret asking
continue,
that question.
and we continue.
Okay. What is the Catalan word for hello?
Tapas.
Oh, fuck.
What?
He said
Wait,
tapas. He
that
wasn't
wasn't-
answering the
that
question.
wasn't your-
He wasn't
that's
answering-
not
that
your
was just me being.
Is anyone quick? 5 seconds. 4, 3. You don't lose points for
No
this
one
one.
Not even going to
No,
try.
Did you wait in Catalan?
Yes.
Yeah, what is the Catalan
Yes.
word for hello?
Oh,
5 seconds are gone, mate. You heard the question.
The answer is hola. Hola. Hola.
Oh,
It's
of course
the same
it is.
as
Oh,
Spanish.
Hello and everything.
Same
It's
Spanish.
the same
Yeah.
as Spanish.
Yeah.
that's
But
just
bon-
Fucking
hello.
asshole.
But bon
Hey,
dia
how do you
is
say?
also common.
First question: how do you say the word hello? Go.
Yeah, well, that was literally what I fucking asked
And
you.
you got it wrong, Ev.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
remember,
who-
we
Because I
have the final
referenced the
2
train
questions.
station bombing.
Final 2 questions. If you get it wrong, you lose 2 points. So Tay has the most to lose. Everyone else has the most to win. Question 7. Which famous explorer sailed under the Spanish flag?
Where's Oscar?
What do you got?
Shit.
Christopher Columbus.
Well done, Digby.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
It
Done.
is. It is.
It is Christopher.
Was that before he
Columbus.
became a director?
Thank you, everyone, for
So-
confirming that for me.
So we're tied up.
So it's
It's
tied
diggers
up.
and diggers.
Last question.
Yep.
Anyone can win here. Anyone can win. What sport is considered Spain's second most popular after football?
Where's
Monaco.
Oscar?
What do you got? What do you got, Ev?
The hoops.
He's right. It's basketball. Oh, Evan, how did you know that?
Because I just saw an article about whatever team has their Barcelona Football
In the
Club
NBA.
and
Yes,
Real Madrid
and-
both
yes.
have basketball teams, so I get it in my
Well done,
newsfeed.
mate. Well done. Well
Did
done.
I win the whole
Damn.
thing?
You did. You won the whole
you got
thing.
2.5
You
to
Stephen
2.
Bradbury'd it. You little biatch.
I very much
yeah.
did. I very much.
Yeah.
Digby's
Yeah.
upset because he would have got that
Yeah.
too because
Yeah,
he's tall
yeah.
enough to play basketball growing up.
Just
Some of us are just hopeless.
put him in a corner, mate. Just pigeonhole what he's able to
I
do.
love that Ev knew that because of his football newsletter.
Footballing.
Why he knew
Yeah,
it.
I know.
Fucking hell.
because it's the end of the season, so all the new
Holy
kits
Well,
are
to be
coming
fair,
out.
I mean
Yeah.
that is why those teams, why Real Madrid, why those Spanish
Yeah.
football clubs are involved in basketball and have basketball
Yeah,
teams
probably.
because it is massive.
But, Spain's consistently do well at the Olympics in basketball.
They're constantly gold
where
medal
was
with,
but Mao
USA.
Mao was from China.
Yeah, but they were terrible. Spain is.
Yeah, we're
this
talking
is what
about
one-
we're talking
one
about one
waste
whole.
of
one
But he
player.
was-
What a waste of
Mao
points.
was like,
We're not.
who
we're
were
not
the
having this
evil
discussion.
guys in the
We're not having
original,
this discussion. We're not having this discussion.
Space Jam.
Evan,
Mao
we're
looked
not
like
having this
like a-
discussion. That was Sean
All right.
Bradley.
Yeah, we're not having this conversation, but here's the answer. All right, helmets back on, egos checked at the pit lane. It's time for Grid Walk and Trash Talk, the part of the show where we look ahead to the chaos that will be the Spanish Grand Prix. As flagged earlier, we're heading to the sun-soaked Circuit de Barcelona, Catalunya, where tyre degradation goes to thrive and overtakes go to die. But this year, it might just surprise us. Maybe some more upgrades, old rivalries, and perhaps more than likely for the final time ever for now. There you go, fix that up. So as to ensure that you're heading into the weekend with some idea of what the fuck is going on, albeit we can't promise that even after listening to this, we'll quickly preview the race, we'll suss out who's looking good, and we'll throw our wildly irresponsible predictions into the mix, because if there's one thing we definitely know, it's that we don't really know anything. So strap in, it's Catalunya time, let's trash talk. First up, what do we know and what do you need to know? Now, this isn't just any track, it's the ultimate F1 litmus test. The track was built as part of the 1992 Barcelona Olympics development program. The foundation stone was laid in 89, while the first car race was a round of the 91 Spanish Touring Car Championship. 2 weeks after that, those touring cars hit the track. The F1's turn, and it enjoyed a sensational debut with Nigel Mansell and Ayrton Senna They had that infamous eyeball-to-eyeball drag race down the straight. Have you guys seen that video? It's incredible.
Yeah, it's incredible.
It's really cool. Before, obviously, Mansell took the lead and drove on to victory. What's the circuit like? The drivers love it, and for many years, it was Formula One's pre-season testing venue of choice. In terms of the race, we're talking, I think it's 66 laps, around about a 4.5K circuit that's a mix of high-speed straights and twisty technical sections. Turn 3, it's a genuinely real neck snapper, I've got written here, a neck snapper. So it's obviously quite a substantial corner there. And with the removal of the final chicane in 2023, drivers now face a faster, more flowing finish that separates the brave from the cautious. So why go? It's Barcelona. And based on the internet, as I've never actually been there, Barcelona is one of the world's great cities. Food, culture, beaches, people. It's all there, making a Spanish Grand Prix holiday a properly attractive proposition. Hint, hint to the tourism body of Spain that want to sponsor us. What to watch out for. Expect teams to roll out more upgrades because if your car can handle Barcelona, it can handle anywhere. And let's not forget the fans. Passionate, loud, and ready to cheer on the local heroes of Carlos Sainz and Fernando Alonso as they aim to make their mark on home soil. And if you're looking to stretch the home race narrative, you could possibly throw in Franco Colapinto there, who, well, speaks Spanish. Gents, we talked a little about this track when we spoke about the new Madrid race coming, but to somewhat rehash old content, do you like Barcelona as a race, and do you think there's room for both Barcelona and Madrid?
I don't think there's room for both. You got to pick one. I don't think there's any need to do 2 Spain races. Just like
we have 2 Italians.
True. Yeah, and we're getting
3 Americans.
And we're getting rid of one. Also, don't need 3 American ones. So again, it doesn't. I'm not saying, oh my god, that's right, we do. So I'll change my opinion.
It's not an argument. It's not an argument.
So what I'm saying, I actually love the Barcelona track. It's one of my favorite tracks, and I never get the hate for it. Every year, everyone's like, this track sucks. The race is boring, and every year we get an amazing race at Barcelona. The opening turns are some of the coolest. It's one of the best openings of any tracks, I think. But yeah, I love it. I wish it wasn't going away.
Yep. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's not officially. Oh no, it was confirmed that it is going away, isn't it?
Yes.
No. Well, that's the thing. There's it is and it isn't because there's delays with the Madrid track apparently, and they are still contracted to do 26. So this isn't not the last year. Apparently, next year is the last year.
But isn't Madrid supposed to be next year?
Well, that's what I had read as well, so I don't know. But with these delays with the Madrid track, I don't know.
Okay.
It might still be here, so this may or may not be the last time.
Okay. To your point, Diggs, about other countries having 2 races, I wrote here, if you're going to have more than one track in a country, Spain ain't it. No. So I don't disagree with you. Ev, do you've been around a long time. Do you like this track?
I think I could probably drive this track in the game blindfolded. It is. I actually think it's maybe the perfect track. So for the last several decades, it's been used as testing.
Yep.
Pre-season testing because the track is really well made. Like the tarmac is a very high quality. We've seen pretty much every other circuit has to relay their tarmac every 5 years because they don't spend the money on compressing the soil enough so that there isn't a disruption. It was also chosen as the preseason testing because it's close enough to. It's like equidistance between England with all of the teams in England and Italy. And on top of that, perfect weather. It 9 times out of 10 has perfect weather. Not too hot, not too cold.
Yep.
I adore this track. I'm excited about the new one. I don't know why we can't have both. And I forget what your question was. So
that'll do.
Are you excited for it?
No, fuck it.
I do. It is such an iconic. If you look at the track, it's such an iconic racetrack. Like the design of it is so like. I feel like that's the track you always see
Yep.
Whenever you think of F1,
Yep.
that image comes to mind.
I cannot remember it for the life of me.
Yep.
Okay.
But I'll take your word for it.
That sweeping first
Yeah.
corner.
Yeah, and that long straight.
Fuck,
Yeah. All right, well, let's
it
let's
has so
quickly
much character.
let's quickly rewind to last year's race, a race that had more twist than the flamenco dancer on espresso. Very quickly, Max Verstappen clinched his 4th Spanish Grand Prix win. It was his 3rd consecutive at the track, but it wasn't a walk in the park. Starting second, he found himself squeezed by pole sitter Lando Norris at the start, leading to a tense radio message. I got pushed onto the grass. Sounds very familiar. And how the turns...
Nothing's changed.
Well, yes, exactly. And how the turns did end up tabling. Do you like that? Yeah, the whole... How the tables have turned. Yeah, I thought you'd like that
Wow.
one.
Yeah, we get it.
That's
Norris,
what we're
despite
paying
his
for.
We're all
perfect
about
lap in
explaining jokes
qualifying... yeah. Norris, despite his perfect lap in qualifying, spent crucial early laps stuck behind Russell, costing him valuable time, which he inevitably was incapable of claiming back, and he finished 2nd on the podium. And Hamilton's name was back in lights last year when we went back to Barcelona, when he secured his first podium of the year with obviously Mercedes at the time, following a fierce battle with Carlos. Gents, swinging attention to this year's edition, how's this weekend unfolding? Who you got tickled pink and who are you backing?
I wasn't really sure until you just gave us that little spiel. I forgot how successful Max has been on this track. So I
Yes.
would lean
That's
towards
what I'm here
Max having a good weekend. Lando's obviously pretty strong on this track, so I think we're going to see another McLaren and Max. But I'm going to
Max, not Red Bull, just
I'm
Max.
going to go Max, Oscar, Lando.
Max, Oscar. Okay, so still same.
Wow.
Yeah, your usual
All right.
suspects, but you think, this could be a
Different
track for
order.
Max. Yep. Tay, Ev, any words of wisdom
on,
here
Tay.
for anyone wanting to have a flutter, which we don't endorse?
I think
Yeah,
because
until they pay us.
I think it's going to be similar to Imola. I think it will be. I agree with Diggers. It's going to be the standard top 3. I think I'd love Charles to be up there, but I don't think Ferrari's fast enough. And then the only ones really fast enough would be Mercedes. But after this weekend, it's not a good comparison. But
The rules are coming in to prohibit the flexi wings.
So is that definitely
And
so
coming
where
this
the-
weekend?
This is
that
yes.
Oh.
This is that weekend. So
McLaren
my
might
point,
be not so strong.
yes. So nobody knows what anything's going to be because
Okay, that's
Ferrari
good.
and Mercedes exploited the flexi-wing more. And McLaren exploited that loophole, whereas Red Bull didn't. Because they didn't
So they
think it was a
claim.
loophole. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
And
All right.
so, it'll be fascinating. It's going to be the most interesting point of the season.
All right. We're into the episode's final lap. It's time for everyone's second favourite Chaos Corner behind that ludicrous quiz. It's time for What's Verstappening. It's a part of the show where we completely abandon logic, structure, and sometimes even facts and dive headfirst into the weird, wild, and what the fuck moments of the world of Formula One that we haven't touched on today. Here's how it works. We've got 4 topics ready to launch like an overzealous Lando Norris on lap 1. Each of my esteemed co-hosts here, Tay, Evan, Digby, will have 20 seconds to respond with their hottest takes or more than likely most unnecessary gibberish that literally adds nothing. However, no prep, no mercy. This week, we're talking Melbourne Madness, Gasly the Bullet, Racing's Triple Crown, and Brad Pitt, all of which are being thrown into a discussion blender. It's messy, it's mildly informative, and it's exactly what this podcast was made for. So buckle up because it's time to find out what's Verstappening. Topic number 1, Melbourne March Madness. I understand this is to be somewhat very hot off the press, gents, but kicking off the new regulations of 2026 and everything that will come with it, the F1 season is set to commence with the Australian Grand Prix at Melbourne's Albert Park, which has just been confirmed, not officially, for March 6 to March 8, so it will reopen next year's season. This marks the second consecutive year that Melbourne will host the season opener, a role it traditionally held before Bahrain became the preferred starting venue. The shift back to Australia is influenced by my understanding of the timing of Ramadan, which in 2026 runs from Feb 17 to March 19, making it logistically challenging to start the season in Bahrain during that period. Under a contract extension signed in 22, Melbourne is guaranteed to host the opening race, but only of at least five between now and 2035, with the current agreement extending the event's place on the calendar until 2037. For the record, I would wait until the F1 officially confirms this before booking your accommodation and flights for as cheap as possible. But boys, if you can, and putting your bias for Australia aside, is this a win for F1? And if logistics and politics had no power, if you could choose one track to open the season, what would it be? Ev, you won the quiz. You are up. 20 seconds.
Yes, everybody loves Australia. Has always loved coming here for the first race because it is a very fascinating track to test yourself against. Typically coming from Barcelona, but now it's from Dubai. Where culturally acceptable of English teams and Italian teams. Everybody typically really just enjoys being here for the first race because it's not as stressful. Before,
That's it.
so
That's
did
it.
we cut this part?
No.
Yeah, cut this part. I just have to say, fuck, what was it? I've been thinking about this all week. Mohammed bin Salem.
Yeah.
He instigated the two stop strategy.
Yes.
The FIA instigated it. He wants to be up for re-election for a third time, and why he was brought in was because he can open the door to the Middle East.
Yeah.
And we can get all these races, right?
Yeah.
Everything he has done has damaged the brand outside of the commercial value of bringing in these new races.
Yeah.
Now that those new races have been brought in, because it's such a political position to be the CEO or the director of the FIA.
Yeah.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
Because what a failure that had been for the two-stop strategy.
Yeah.
What like an abject failure
yeah.
because he was hanging his hat on that. Oh, I'll be the man to spice up Monaco. Anyway, I'm sorry. We're talking about the next one.
No.
I was thinking about how I was going to introduce that into the chat.
Yeah, that's why I went out of my... I thought you might have had something to say about it. Because I wanted to...
Nobody's talking about it.
But that's why I did
which is
in the intro
fascinating.
talk about the fact that
You know
it was
what?
the FIA that introduced it, and F1 is the one with egg on its face.
That's right.
Yeah, that's why you could probably cut that into
Yes.
that bit.
Yeah, please do. I'm
Possibly.
sorry.
I
know you-
could,
None of it-
but
that's-
that would take a fucking huge amount of time, which I don't have, which I said at the
I'm
start
sorry.
of the episode.
I'm genuinely sorry about
You
that.
sound like
I just remembered
Pop
my
Puri,
fault.
Biddy Man. Right, okay. Very good. Thank you, Ev. Tay, go. 20 seconds.
Yeah, keep Oz as number one.
Okay,
I love having it start the season. I love it.
it's great.
Done.
So, of all races, and Ev, you didn't answer this question, but of all races,
Oh,
you would
true.
always choose, like, pretend there's no logistics, like, just in
Put
terms of the
Monaco
biggest
first.
bang.
Be brave. Make a decision.
I wouldn't hate
Worst
that.
race first.
I wouldn't hate that.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
if I was going to say that, and
Yeah.
you just ruined it.
Yeah.
What are you doing? Yeah.
Right, okay, on that note,
I
Diggs?
found that I liked Australia, not because we are in Australia, but there was something about that track and the presentation of how it looks with the city in the summertime. I think if you put it any other time, it kind of ruins that race. Bahrain didn't exactly scream with excitement when you started there. So you need a track like Australia where like Monaco would be good if the race was better. So I think Australia's the right one.
Why not
I think it looks
Vegas?
good, feels good.
Why not Vegas?
Because
I was
it's
gonna say-
because
I was
it's.
gonna-
I don't want to start
yeah.
with a nighttime race. I want the daytime race. I want
Yeah.
the feel of the sun.
okay.
Like
Okay.
it feels more welcoming.
But what if they made Vegas a daytime race? Like, I'm just thinking, like, where could you get...
Nah,
No,
it
it
still
would be
doesn't look
awful.
great. Vegas
It'd be
has to be at
awful.
night.
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
you've
you
got
need
that
the
beautiful.
lights. Yeah.
Yeah,
Somehow
Vegas
they
sucks
make-
during the
They
day.
make Melbourne look like paradise somehow in the F1
Yeah.
presentation.
Melbourne is paradise.
I've never
Wonderful. Okay.
seen it look that good.
All right, next one. Gasly's Monaco mishap. During the 2025... During the weekend's race, Alpine's Pierre Gasly collided with Yuki Tsunoda's Red Bull at the Nouvelle chicane. The impact severely damaged Gasly's front left suspension, leading to a complete brake failure and saw him fly across the track, almost cleaning up a stack of cars in doing so. It was like a bullet going across your screen. Despite this, Gasly continued for pretty much half the lap, scattering debris across the track and entering the pit lane without the ability to stop. You actually see during the broadcast that Williams mechanics had to physically intervene to prevent a potential accident in the pit area. Sky Sports commentators Brundle and Ted Kravitz criticised Gasly's decision to continue driving, labelling it so dangerous. The FIA have since investigated the incident and they've issued him a reprimand, marking his first of the season. Gents, given the potential risk involved, should the FIA consider stricter penalties for drivers who continue driving with significant car damage, especially when safety is compromised? Or, I mean, again, is this just fair play? He wanted to try and get back to keep his car going for the race, and so be it.
He knew that the car... So, yes. It's so dangerous for, like, human beings to have to put their hands on, like, molten rubber to try to stop the car from like keeping going, but that's not Gasly's fault, and I truly believe, because he has a reputation of being a very nice guy, that that it was like he's only doing it to try to mitigate the impact on the race.
Okay. All right. Very good. Just quickly, what's a reprimand? As in just a warning? As in he didn't actually get a penalty, or he got like a fine?
Slap on his
it's more of a
hands.
slap on the wrist. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it should go to the team, because the team should have told him and they didn't.
Yeah. Tay, what do you got?
I thought it was. I thought you had to stop because that's what Kimi did. He had to stop to mitigate the amount of damage on the track.
Technically, you need to wait for a black flag, which means that you personally have been fucked off.
But Kimi couldn't get his car in reverse.
It's kind of like semantics. He had no braking, very little steering.
Okay.
Yeah. I think. I mean, he was. It was unfortunate, and he did what he had to do to get it back.
Okay. Diggs, anything to add?
I was under the impression that his brakes had failed after the crash, so he couldn't stop.
Yes.
So may as well roll as far as he could, and he made it all the way back. So it's better that.
Rolling with.
Hold on.
He couldn't have stopped anyway.
Better that than just sweeping into the front corner and causing a red flag and stopping the whole fucking race and ruining the day for everyone. There was a bit of debris, yes, but
it was already ruined.
That would give us more to talk about, to be fair.
Yeah.
I can't believe it wasn't actually either. It wasn't a safety car or a red flag with all that debris everywhere.
No.
That's weird.
What's your argument? If don't do that because of the debris, and you kept running,
and then you kept letting everyone drive. Yeah. Next topic: the Triple Crown threat. During the post-race press conference at the Monaco Grand Prix, Charles Leclerc and Lando Norris were asked about the possibility of competing in the Indianapolis 500, one of motorsport's Triple Crown events alongside Monaco and Le Mans. As you guys may or may not have been aware, but the race was on immediately following the Monaco Grand Prix, and by that I mean the Indy 500. Charles expressed that he had no interest in racing in the Indy 500, describing it as a crazy race and stating, "I don't think I will ever do it. I think it's a different level of craziness." He emphasised his commitment to Formula One and mentioned a desire to participate in Le Mans with his brother as a more appealing alternative. Lando also indicated a lack of enthusiasm, citing the inherent risks of the oval racing. He remarked, "I don't think I'll ever do it. It's just too risky. I love racing, but I also love my safety." With Leclerc and Norris both expressing reluctance to race in the Indy 500 due to safety, noting that only one man, Graham Hill, has completed all three, do you think anyone on the current grid could go on and try claim the Triple Crown? Ev, go. Evan.
No, he's doing it on purpose.
I know,
he's going to say one name right at the end.
It's still going to get cut. And make out like...
Well,
no. What? No.
All right, there you go. No.
He's going to say Max.
No.
Yeah,
no,
it's not going to happen.
Tay.
Wildly, no.
You wasted your time. Tay's turn.
No, I agree with Digby.
Did you see that the bloke who was saying that if he got in an F1 car, he'd beat Max? He crashed out.
Yeah.
Straight at the beginning.
Kohler or whatever his name is.
Whatever his name is. I don't see any of them doing it.
Well, even after Max went and did the Nürburgring, you don't think that maybe Max retires from Formula One and goes and races Indy?
No, because
none of them would waste their time doing it.
That's not his race.
Yeah.
It's not his race. He doesn't give a shit.
Okay.
So,
Oh, weird.
So,
I thought
it's not challenging enough.
I think you took that the wrong way there, Ol, because I'm agreeing here with Tay. I'm so glad you brought up that story, Tay. I think like F1 is so above Indy, they don't even consider it. And I think Indy is so desperate to be seen by the F1 or be on
Schumacher
that level.
made a great
and
reference
they're just like,
to
no,
it.
we're good. We don't need to. That's like V8 supercars going, come on, come race with us. Like,
What
no,
did
we're good.
Schumacher say?
He says something along the lines like he would never like it's nothing to him.
Yeah, right.
He spits
But
on
Le
it sort
Mans?
of thing. Like
Le Mans?
in an interview.
Le Mans is kind of...
Yeah, Le Mans are different.
Le Mans different.
Yeah,
Okay.
Le Mans is different.
You-
It's
you joke
endurance.
about,
Yeah.
You joke about Indy being so far below F1, but Robert Schwartzman is currently racing. He was racing the Indy 500, and I believe he was the ex-Ferrari reserve driver.
That's exactly my point.
Well,
exactly
that's
my
Yeah,
the
there you
point.
go. Okay. Okay.
When you can't do teach. When you can't do teach.
Cool. All right, last one. Date night
When
at
you
the
can't
movies during the
teach,
25.
drive the Indy 500. Sorry.
There you go. Right, last one. Date
Sorry.
night at the movies. During the 25 Monaco Grand Prix weekend, Formula One drivers attend an exclusive screening of the upcoming Apple original films movie titled F1. How original. The film stars Brad Pitt as Sonny Hayes, a veteran driver making a comeback, and Damson Idris, who is wonderful in... I can't even remember the TV show I've watched him in. Snowtown or something like that. It's really worth watching. Anyways, he's the rookie Joshua Pierce, set within the fictional Apex GP team. Again, like Apex GP, I suspect that's what it means. Directed by Joseph Kosinski and co-produced by Lewis Hamilton. The movie aims to deliver an authentic portrayal of the sport. The drivers' reactions were overwhelmingly positive. Charles Leclerc described the film as very, very special, praising its storytelling and the realistic depiction of racing. Lewis Hamilton expressed pride in the project, emphasizing the collaborative effort to ensure authenticity and the positive feedback from his peers. With the film set to be released at the end of June, boys, are you going to see it at the movies when it comes out? And what are you most looking forward to? Ev, quick, go.
No, I really want to see it because the visuals look incredibly amazing, but it is a Hollywood movie with a love interest. I read a wonderful article about how Brad Pitt says, safety comes second after speed or something like that. And this article was on Planet
F1. Yep.
F1.
Keep moving.
And they talked about how nobody has had that. Nobody in F1 has had that sentiment since the 70s.
Yeah.
And that's when men were dying every race.
Yeah,
like,
fair
it's
point.
not funny. It's not cool. Like, it's dumb. It's really dumb.
It's a movie.
So you're not looking
Yeah,
forward
so you're
to
not...
I think the racing is going to be great. I always think it's very ironic when you get a big star and then like the second guy, they get this like a young black guy and it's like any
He's
Tom
awesome.
Cruise movie.
He's awesome.
The second, sure, but the secondary, they've only got so much money left in the budget after getting Tom Cruise or Brad Pitt, so they've got to get like a Z list to like do
No,
that.
he's not.
Like,
He's brilliant.
Poor guy.
No,
he looks very charismatic. I'm
You should
excited
watch.
for that.
I think it's called Snowtown or something. I can't remember the name of the TV series he was in. He's awesome.
Yeah,
right,
yeah,
you've
yeah.
had your 20 seconds. Tay, go.
I did.
I'm excited for it
Totally
only
excited.
because of the director is the one who did Top Gun Maverick.
Yep.
And that cinematically, it was
Yes,
fucking
yeah.
so well.
Well, they have raved
filmed.
about that.
So I'm excited from that.
I'm
I
so
really can't
excited
wait for the
like
music.
our grandchildren to be like, "Oh, Grandpa wants to watch
You
Top
had
Gun."
your 20
Maverick.
seconds.
But also,
funny.
I did enjoy the Gran Turismo film,
Yeah.
and
Yep.
that turned out better than I thought.
Yep.
So I hope this will be good.
I like
I'll
the
go
Need
see
for
it in the
Speed one
cinema.
too. If we're just throwing out driving movies.
Oh,
Oh,
no,
wow.
that one's
Ticks-
awful.
Wow,
Ticks
the
off.
Need for
one's
Speed
awful.
movie.
It sounds like, from all accounts,
Wow.
this is going to be the equivalent of Bohemian Rhapsody to music. Basically, all the drivers are like, if you're expecting F1, don't go and see it. If you're expecting Hollywood,
Yeah.
great. And I love that Max didn't bother going and seeing it. It's like, why the fuck would he want to go and see it?
I bet it's because
It's
he
just like
doesn't
when
like
I
Lewis.
said I didn't like Bohemian Rhapsody, everyone's like, how could you not like you're a musician? It's like, because it has nothing to do with the job
Yeah.
that we are in.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, that's
just
right.
what
Had
you
nothing
want
to
it
do.
to be. And they change
Yeah.
all the stories. And the only thing I will say that I loved is that they clearly saw my TikToks last year and removed We
and
Were
they
Rocking
changed
from
the
all the
promo
trailers.
video.
Changed all the songs.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. That's a wrap on another lap around the madhouse that is Idiots of F1. Whether you came for the chaos, the technical nous, or just enjoyed hearing Digby get bullied in Hush. You've been paying attention.
God.
We're glad you're here with us. Massive thanks to my co-hosts Digby, Ev, and Tay for bringing the usual mix of hot takes, questionable trivia knowledge, and oddly strong opinions. As always, hit that follow button, leave us a review, and just yell our name dramatically in a petrol station. Whatever helps us get us into yours and your ears. No, you and your ears, yours.
Us
It's
into
hard-
your
it's hard to
ears.
say. Yeah, that's it. We'll be back next week where hopefully the race has more overtakes than Monaco. Until then, keep it full throttle, keep it unfiltered, and most importantly, keep it idiotic. Bye now.
Bye.